slap me again and I'll break your arm.
Emma's a pimp!
Wait until the Reaper takes my life.
Lucky for you, you are right where you need to be. So sit back, relax, and turn up the volume on your streaming device. Johnny Ballgame, Sir Poops-a-Lot, and the Fantasy Reaper are about to deliver humor and fantasy gold at the same time. Crush your opponent with a smile. It's Fantasy Sports Island.
Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Island. And let it be known to the world that the guy that we have trouble getting on the show, maybe once every 4 or 5 weeks, is actually on a freaking island in Hawaii. And he's in the shadows right now, so we can't even see him. But trust me, Royce, Fantasy Royce, there he is, on location in Maui on the island. How about that for dedication?
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen.
Johnny Ballgame is here as well.
Sup, y'all?
How you doing tonight, John?
I am fantastic. Coming from you also in sunny, tropical Nolensville, Tennessee.
Woo.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
You're welcome.
And Tony Sir Poops-a-Lot, where are you coming from tonight?
West Hills / Los Angeles, California, where it's 92 at 7 o'clock at night. It never cools down, ever.
Strong.
Ever.
That's California in the valley for you.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm also in the valley. Well, not in the valley, but I'm in California, in Camarillo, where it's a little bit cooler. So I'm doing pretty good. Like that beach weather, just like Royce has out there in Hawaii. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Fantasy Reaper. We're glad you made it for tonight's show. We got a good one for you. AFC North Divisional Fantasy Breakdown. John's favorite division.
Actually,
We get to talk about the Bengals tonight, folks. And two of you on the show are from Ohio, so this is a good show for you guys.
Yep.
We're also going to look at some news and notes around the NFL. We're going to do Tony's poop list. These are guys that we will not be drafting for multiple reasons, but mainly because we think they suck.
Yeah.
And we're going to finish it off with a little ADP, this or that. I'm going to challenge my guys on the show tonight. I'm going to take two guys, put them head to head that are close in ADP, and I want to know who John would draft, who Tony would draft, and who I would draft in that situation. And if Royce hangs around long enough, Royce can do that too. We'll see. He's in Hawaii, folks, so he could go at any moment and go surfing or whatever he's going to do. Are you guys ready to kick off some news and notes?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. John, DK Metcalf, right before the show, landed a 3-year, $72 million extension with guaranteed money of $58 million, and he got $30 million up front on his signing bonus, the highest ever recorded for a wide receiver. So do you give a crap? Because you're probably not going to draft him anyways, right?
I don't. I mean, I'm glad he got paid, right? Because he knows he's on a crap team. But he had to go get the money because you only get a chance to get this kind of money once in a while. He'll worry about getting traded next year. He'll worry about going for a contender. He did the smart thing in getting that money, but no, I'm not. Am I excited about him? No.
Yeah, the quarterback play in Seattle is basically awful. It's just, I mean, who's going to throw him the ball, John?
Geno Smith is right now the number one quarterback since camp has begun.
That is crazy.
I just need to say that again. Geno Smith is the number one quarterback in Seattle.
And let me tell you this, he's in a quarterback battle with Drew Lock.
How bad is Drew Lock?
How bad is Drew Lock?
Geno Smith is winning that battle.
All right, Tony. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow had to have an emergency appendix surgery, an appendectomy. And head coach Zach Taylor said on Wednesday that he's not concerned, but a typical return time is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for this type of surgery. Does that worry you in any way? Does that lower your stock on Joe Burrow?
It worries me enough that I think they should trade for Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, minimally, just because I don't want him to be too rusty. I think physically he's going to be fine. We know too many people like Johnny Ballgame who had that thing sliced out and was right back at it a week or two later. But that momentum that they carry out from preseason into regular season, he might be a little rusty, but it doesn't worry me too much. There's a lot of raw talent there when it comes down to that kid. To have a rookie, rip his knee in 15 pieces and come back the next year and and do as well as he did, I'm pretty confident he'll be all right with an appendectomy.
John came back from an appendectomy in what, a week or so, John?
No, it was a month.
It was a month, and that was the days at Polk High when you scored 4 touchdowns, right?
I don't want to brag, but I'm just saying it was pretty good. Yeah. No, listen, but in all seriousness, when I got mine out, it's high school football. Let's not get carried away. But I did get cut open. That was back in the days when they slice you open and they physically take it out. It's not like laparoscopic surgery now, where they do it all laser and they do it all that. I really was back playing in 4 weeks. So that's true story. So am I worried about Joe Burrow missing 2 to 4 weeks with laparoscopic surgery to take his appendix out? I'm not. I'm going to take Dak Prescott number 1. So please don't take Joe Burrow. You know who I'm talking to.
Did you get Keith's ear right now?
Yeah, I want to know Keith. Buddy.
Going back to Joe Burrow, I'm a little concerned just because he's going to miss a lot of the time when you develop chemistry with your receivers. Luckily, though, it's the exact same 3 receivers he's been thrown to for the last 2 years. So it probably won't affect his timing too much. He could get off to a little bit of a slow start because he's not getting those reps in camp. But ultimately, I'm not really that worried about it. I think Joe Burrow will be fine. Now, if like John thinks he's going to be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football this year, and that doesn't change for you, John, you still think he's number 1 quarterback?
So he is number 1 at the end of the season.
All right. Tampa Bay Bucks got some good news and some bad news since we last recorded. I'm going to start with the good news because I'm a positive kind of guy. Chris Godwin has been cleared for training camp. He will not be on the PUP list. He's a full go. He's still working his way back from the torn ACL and the also torn MCL, but all signs are a go. He looks like he's going to be ready week 1. So I'll talk to you first, Royce, before we lose you in Hawaii. What do you think about Godwin? Where were you going to draft Chris Godwin, first of all?
Well, first of all, I thought the good news was Julio Jones signing the 1-year deal. That's hilarious. I was drafting Godwin before this, like 8th, 9th round, just maybe hold on to him at the end. But if he's going to be ready game 1, isn't he? He's a number 2, right? He's got to go 4th or 5th round, I think. I mean, I agree. He's okay, right? Don't you agree with that? Yeah.
It was baked into his ADP that he was going to miss some time, but now that he's not going to miss any time, he'll come up the boards in ADP for sure. And I'd be willing to take him in probably the 4th round. So does everyone agree with that? And he's going to move up your boards? Yeah. All right.
Isn't it funny how the signing of Julio Jones and then all of a sudden Godwin's like, nope, I'm ready. I'm good, everybody. I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Scared him.
You know who wasn't ready to hear that? Can you guess on the Bucks who wasn't ready to hear that Julio Jones signed with them?
Mike Evans?
No, wide receiver 3.
Gage.
Oh, yeah.
Gage was come on. This is bullshit. Julio Bones, come on.
If Gage can't beat him out, Gage doesn't deserve it. I watched Julio Jones last year up and close and personal here in Tennessee. He was terrible. Thank you, no.
He is Julio Bones for sure. He's a shadow of his former self. And I agree. If you can't beat him out as the wide receiver 3 on that team, you don't deserve the job. Nope. Move on. All right. Now the bad news for the Bucks today, their center, Ryan Jensen, was carted off the field with, it could be an ACL injury. It was bad. They think it's going to be season ending. They haven't verified that yet, but this can't be good for Tom Brady and the time he'll have to throw the ball. You rely on your center for the rush up the middle. So this can't be good news, Tony. What do you think?
Oh, it can be really rough news. So, I mean, obviously if that's your number 1 guy, over the football, it's a problem. And who are they going to get to replace him? I don't know much about the depth there. Do they have somebody that's going to be anywhere near comparable? Because that could be a big problem. And Brady's, every year he's still a stud, but he's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, and they also, don't forget, they lost Alex Capa to the Bengals this year.
Oh, right.
So their line is much weaker structurally than it was last year. You give Tom Brady a little bit less time. You saw what happened in New England when he had a weak offensive line. It was a struggle. So he needs time to throw the ball. I think this could be bad for Tom Brady. I'm a little worried about the line there. All right.
Breaking news. Tom Brady just retired again.
Yeah. Wait, breaking news. Tom Brady just unretired, John. He's back.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Gronkowski followed him.
Yeah. All right. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Trey Lance was given a clear endorsement by the head coach, Kyle Shanahan. I want to call him Shahanigans because that's my nickname. Kyle Shanahan said, this is Trey's team, period. And now they're looking to trade Garoppolo as well. So it's cemented. It's done. Trey Lance is going to be officially the starting quarterback for San Francisco. Are you guys as excited as I am for Trey Lance?
Royce is so excited he's on his side. I mean, that's
kind of. Like, I hope he does well, but I don't have a lot of faith quite yet. I'm excited to see if he kicks some ass, but I don't know. I don't trust it.
John, what do you think?
Okay.
Go ahead, Royce.
Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, I said, Poop, are you gonna draft him?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then you're not excited.
No, yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next.
I'm less than excited. In fact, to me, I think they're making a giant mistake. I do. I think Debo suffers. I think the running game suffers. I think everybody suffers for this. I think the 49ers are clearly going to be the worst team in the NFC West.
Hot take, Johnny Ballgame. Wow.
Worse than the Cardinals, and you know how I feel about the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with all you guys. I think Trey Lance is going to be a stud. He needed a year to sit back and learn a little bit from Jimmy Garoppolo. Now that's over, it's his time to shine. He reminds me a little bit of Lamar Jackson with his scrambling ability, and he's got a better arm, and he's more accurate. So I'm super excited to see this kid. I'm looking to get him as my QB too. That way, if it doesn't work out, I can always cut him. But if it does, he could be a stud. So we'll see.
So
Yeah.
Chuck, real fast, are you drafting Debo in the same place you had him before then? Now that Trey Lance is the man?
Absolutely. I think Debo's a second-round pick, but he's going late second round in ADP. I'll take him early in the second round. Thank you very much. I'm a big fan of Debo for obvious reasons.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why would I like him so much?
Never heard that.
Oh, wait, because he won me the league last year, Johnny. That's why.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to come back to you, John, because we're going to make fun of you a little bit. John proclaimed on the show last week that his favorite penny would be in a timeshare with Chris Carson and the rookie from Seattle. And Chris Carson did announce his retirement shortly thereafter.
That's how bad Penny's going to be. Carson's still going to rush more than him.
Tony, I mean, you had Chris Carson a few times. Does it make you a little bit sad that he's done?
Well, I feel bad for him personally. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like a weird injury. His neck or whatever it is has been tormenting him for a couple seasons. So yeah, it doesn't affect me either way, because when it comes down to fantasy, it helps to make our decision better. I don't want those three guys running committee. So bye.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Before we go on to the next segment, John, I just wanted to tell our viewers that if you like this content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, because we do this every week, Tony, every week. So you guys need to hit that notification bell. You'll get notified. And don't forget, every Saturday morning when you wake up, flip on the Fantasy Sports Island show. And maybe you'll see Royce in Maui next week too. How long are you there, Royce?
Tuesday, but things go well. I may not leave, man. It's unbelievable here.
A permanent fixture on the island. How about that?
Exactly.
All right, you guys ready to do a little AFC North divisional fantasy breakdown?
Do this.
All right, let's break it down. Here we go.
AFC North Divisional Breakdown.
All right, AFC North predicted order of finish. Cincinnati Bengals.
What?
You don't hear that very often from Vegas. They think the Bengals are the clear-cut division winner this year. Baltimore Ravens come in next. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Browns pulling up the rear. Gee, I wonder why. We're going to get to all four of those teams, but first we're going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're no longer the bungholes. The Cincinnati Bengals are the talk of the league. They have weapons galore. I'm just going to let Tony talk about I want you to talk about those receivers first of all. What do you think of the trio of receivers in Cincinnati?
I'm going to go with what I said last year. I think they're the best trio in all of football, and you might be able to argue that, but there's not much of an argument at all. Anybody you talk to, even the pros, are like, that's the best trio. And they got a hell of a quarterback that can spread it around. So they're evenly getting the ball. It's crazy, man. They're awesome.
John? Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, John, I'm going to let you brag about Joe Burrow. That's your boy. Do your thing.
Joe Burrow is the number one quarterback in the National Football League. By the end of this season, he will be number one in fantasy. He will be a Super Bowl champion. Just hot take. The Bengals will win the Super Bowl this year. He was number first in passing grade by PFF last year. He was the fifth big time throw guy. His quarterback rating was number 2. This was all coming after a catastrophic knee injury that ended his season last year, and not in the beginning really of the year. It was sort of in the middle of the year. He still came back the next year and he hit it all. And just unbelievable. Yards per attempt, he's number 1. Like, he wasn't lower than 5 in any of the passing categories. This dude is a stud. He's got the best trio of wide receivers in the league. He's got an unbelievable running game. And they did something that they never do. They gave him a line this year. So I don't know what to tell you. Anybody who ranks him less than number 1 is just purely stupid.
I mean, there's a guy out there named Josh Allen that I could make an argument for.
I've heard of him.
I feel you. And
Herbert, who? I don't know.
Lamar.
What?
John, great minds think alike. I literally wrote down the exact same shit you just spewed about PAFF ranking him number 1 in yards per attempt, all that stuff, the beefed up offensive line. I mean, you freaking nailed it. I'm glad you got to go first. There's nothing much to say there. Except I just do want to talk about the offensive line. They added Ted Karras, Alex Capa, and Lyle Collins from the Cowboys. They also drafted Jonah Williams and Jackson Carman, 2 highly touted linemen. Their offensive line is 10 times better than last year. They're now ranked a top 5 offensive line in the league. That can only spell good things for Joe Burrow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's like the Bengals ownership woke up and went, wait a minute. If we have good players, we can win and like get a Super Bowl and stuff. That's weird. Huh.
I do have,
I feel like Royce has a question.
Go ahead, Royce. Royce is up. We've been ignoring him.
I'm doing mock drafts, 14-team leagues. I'm in a 14-team league this year. I'm getting Burrow in the 5th round, guys. 5th round.
Deal.
That shouldn't be happening.
Jeez.
Right?
Jeez.
Royce,
So,
are you
right.
playing with 5-year-olds? What league?
Ball game, 14 teams. How many drafts is that? How many places is that till the 5th round? And he's sitting right there, guys. It's insane. No one knows. Is he a secret? I don't know.
It's in the 60s.
Also too, I got a bet for ball game. Has a hot take, Chuck. Get ready to hit the hot take button. T. Higgins will have more points this year than Jamar Chase. Boom.
Oh, I can't hit the hot take. That's a shit take.
Who wants to bet? I'll bet all you guys. $5. Let's go across the board. Who wants it?
I
Raise
don't
your
mind
hand. Go.
it. I don't mind it.
It could happen.
I think he's going to have a better season, man. Look at his stats last year. You know, Chase was a stud, but Higgins was getting the targets. Targets get you money, and money gets you points, and money gets you diamonds, and money gets you to Maui. Let's go.
Higgins
So
actually
T8
played with a bad shoulder as well all season and still put up pretty good numbers, pretty respectable. Finished, I think he was 11th overall.
Yeah.
So good season.
And
I like it.
as the season went on, Chase slowed a little bit. There was a few games where he wasn't getting the targets because the defense was all over him. But that brings me to one point that I think is vital here that nobody's really talking about, and that's the Bengals schedule. It's not a walk in the park. I don't care how good your team is. I think there's going to be a lot of close games. I still think they're talented and strong enough to actually pull them off, but it's tough. And they got a lot of traveling, a lot of miles, and that can take its toll. So that's the only part that concerns me a little bit is the schedule.
All right, let's talk about the running backs. We got Joe Mixon, and then we have this Samaje Perine, Chris Evans thing in the backfield. You know, it's funny that, you know, Chris Evans seems to be the guy that's the better third down back in this situation. Samaje Perine was pretty bad at it last year, even though he got to do it most of the year. Mixon averaged more yards per reception with a lower drop rate, and it was by a lot, 2.3% to 6.9% for Samaje Perine. So it makes no sense why Samaje Perine was getting the third down work last year. And actually, there's no signs that Mixon can't handle being the passing down back. He's never really gotten a chance to do it, but the limited amount of touches he's had on third downs and passing downs, he's done well. He has good hands. I don't know why they have to have a third down back. Can you guys explain this to me?
No. No, I can't. Seriously, I can't.
It's something about fresh legs too.
You can spell a guy. You don't have to take him out every third down. That makes no sense.
I agree.
Right.
And
I
if he
agree
got
with you
that
that
work,
I don't think Perine should even be on the team. Like,
I agree. He's awful. He's
I
awful.
like Evans. I hope
like
he gets
Evans
the ball more this year.
As far as I'm concerned, the Bengals lost the Super Bowl because they brought in Samaje Perine on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 on that final drive, and he couldn't get them a freaking yard. He couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure Mixon could have done it. Anyway, if Mixon were to get more of that passing down work, he would be in line to be maybe the best running back in football. I mean, in fantasy football. At least.
Fantasy,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Right. Let's quickly touch on the tight ends. Hayden Hurst came over, and they have Drew Sample. TJ Azuma moved on. Does it matter?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean,
fourth at best receiving option. I think Hayden Hurst is just as good as Uzoma.
Agreed.
He might not be the inspirational leader that Uzoma was claimed to be, but that didn't really translate to fantasy points. So go ahead.
Get your Bengals, folks. That's the moral of the story. Get your Joe Burrow. Get them 3 wide receivers. Get Joe Mixon. And you know what? If Joe Mixon were to go down, I think I like Chris Evans in the handcuff role. What do you guys think?
I do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also liked him as Captain America.
What was that?
I also liked him as Captain America, Chris Evans.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What a body.
Great actor. Yeah.
What a body.
Yeah.
Handsome.
Yeah. If you guys are doing the zero RB too, definitely grab Evans for sure.
Yeah, and like the last round.
Yeah. Good point.
Chuck.
You gotta go.
Sorry to interrupt, bro. Yeah, the waves are calling me. I got the Hawaiian International tomorrow on Oahu. Then I'm heading over to London and with Mick, and I'm gonna jam with the Stones. So
Sweet.
All right,
I'm
Sir
outta
Rolls
here,
Royce. Thanks for
good
stopping
seeing
in.
you
my
guys,
man.
man.
Awesome seeing you, Rolls. Thanks, man.
Aloha.
We'll see you.
Aloha, Royce.
Bye bye.
All right, so Royce moved on. He's gonna go surfing. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. He didn't want to talk about them anyways, John.
He didn't like it.
Lamar Jackson. In all PFF grades for like quarterback efficiency, Lamar is simply a below average pocket passer, period. But what makes him special and good in reality as well is the fact that he can run the ball like nobody's business. He can put on those Madden juke moves, spin moves. He's a ridiculous runner of the football once he gets in the open field. And in fantasy, that's a good thing. It's a cheat code. But was it 3 years ago when he had the MVP season? They didn't throw the ball a lot. They used his legs more. He was just crazy. He was an amazing a crap ton of touchdowns. And now that they lost, some of the receiving core moved on. As we know, Hollywood Brown went to Arizona. Are they going to revert back to form and let Lamar loose, let him run the ball? That's the question I want to ask you, John.
I don't know if they are, just because he got he got injured last year a little bit. He just wasn't himself last year. And I think as that goes on, as he gets older, as he takes more and more shots, I just don't know that he's as effective as he was. So as somebody who depended on him last year, I can honestly say he was a disappointment last year. So do I think he's going to be better this year with less receivers? No, I don't. I don't trust Lamar at all. I would not draft Lamar this year.
Wow, that's surprising because, Lamar didn't have a terrible season last year, and he put up the single greatest fantasy game I've ever seen. He scored 101 points in our league, which is ridiculous.
I know, but look at the next 5 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Yes, he put me close to the lead by having him for that week, and it was fantastic. And it was like, oh, Lamar's back. And then I don't think I felt like that again for 6 more weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that worries me. If he's not going to take off and run the ball, that really considerably lowers his value to me. Let's talk about the backfield. Tony, I'm going to talk to you about it. You got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, the old man, Mike Davis. And then they have 2 guys that, Tyler Beatty and Justice Hill. Justice Hill's been on the team for years now. But they're saying Gus Edwards might miss the first couple weeks of the season. He's not quite ready. So what do you think? What shakes in that backfield for you?
Pretty much. I don't like any of it. I don't like this entire team right now. There's too many things in question. I know you're asking about the running game. But I still like the dynamic between Lamar and Andrews. But the running game is kind of up in the air. We've seen Dobbins. He's a talented kid coming off a major injury. Gus, he's dragging along from his injury. I don't have a lot of faith in that backfield at all. We have to see, and we have to hope that they're healthy. That's the only thing I got to say.
Yeah.
Let me add this. So the Ravens featured the following running back usage from week 8 to the AFC divisional round back in 2020 when all these guys were healthy. They're phasing Mark Ingram out of the offense, okay? And week 12, Dobbins missed due to COVID. But the other weeks, Dobbins got 53% of the snaps, 128 rushing attempts, and he only got 16 targets. Edwards got 33% of the snaps, but 105 rushing attempts and 10 targets. So Dobbins was clearly the lead back. He got more snaps, but he only finished with 29 additional carries over Gus Edwards, and Gus Edwards had a higher yards per carry than Dobbins. So I'm really confused, John. Help me out here.
I wish I could. I don't want any part of this backfield. Mike Davis is your third running back. You got 2 injured running backs coming back from catastrophic knee injuries the same day, and you've got a line that's not as good as it was. You've got Mike Davis as your third back. You've got a quarterback who's losing a little bit of his step and a receiving core. I don't want any of this team. I would be very surprised if they finish second in this division.
I'll tell you what. I hate Mike Davis. I think he's old. I think he sucks. But he's gonna end up getting some carries in this team, and you can get him in probably the last round or pick him up as a free agent. Maybe you could play him too.
Chuck.
Yeah.
He was the number 1 running back in Atlanta last year.
Yeah, not
he
for
had
long.
No competition, and then a receiver returner stole the running game from him.
Cordero. I understand, John.
Okay,
but 2 years ago when McCaffrey was out, Mike Davis was pretty good.
He was good. That's why I was surprised he didn't do anything last year. But
Exactly. All right.
Actually, if you remember, he was good for about 5 games, and then he started to tail off at the end of the season.
True. All right. Wide receivers in Baltimore, we don't like them either, but they do have Rashad Bateman, Devin
I like
Duvernay,
one.
James Prochet, two guys I've never heard of, Tylan Wallace and Benjamin Victor and Jalen Moore. These guys are just Jags. The two guys I want to talk about are Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Duvernay is, he had a couple explosive plays over the years, but Rashad Bateman looks to be the shining star on this team that's going to take over that lead role. Do you like him, John?
I like him as my in my receiver theory that I like to draft number one receivers on bad teams or on teams that don't throw very often, because the number one receiver is still going to get some play. And I like Rashad Bateman this year. I think I've been on record on this show a few weeks back saying I like Rashad Bateman. He's a sleeper for me.
Okay. Tony?
He's not going to be my top two, but I had hopes for him last year. So it just comes down to, is he going to get the ball? But he's really talented. I can definitely see him as I would take him as my third wide receiver, probably.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's about right. What do we think about tight ends, Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle? Mark Andrews was the number one tight end, overtook Kelsey last year, but he did a lot of his damage when Lamar was out. He did I would say he had his three biggest games when Lamar was out. Does that worry you guys at all?
No, I think he's going to get the ball more. I think management's going to be coaching is going to be all right, dude, Lamar, look for him, get him the ball, because that's the man. He gets open.
Did you hear the receiver list that you read?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
You heard that, right? Okay. Yeah. I think Mark Andrews is actually going to have a fantastic year this year. So I know I said I don't want any part of the Ravens, but I would draft Rashad Bateman late, and I would draft Mark Andrews as my number one tight end in a minute.
But you're willing to pay the ADP price because he's no longer a third, fourth, fifth round pick like he was last year. You're taking him early second.
No, I'm not taking him then.
Yeah.
I'd like to have him. Let me just put it this way. I'd like to have him on my team. I'm not paying for him then.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the savior, Johnny Ballgame, Mitch Trubisky. Probably going to be the starter at least to start the season. Can he do miracles for the Steelers? You like him?
I like him a lot. I want to make sure everybody understands this. I think Mitch Trubisky will win this job, and I think he will remain the number one quarterback for the entire year. And I think people will be like, maybe we shouldn't have wasted the pick on Kenny Pickett and his tiny little.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
And is that gut?
Hot take. Yeah, it is a gut. It is, and actually, that is probably my first official gut feeling this year. Is I do believe that Mitch Trubisky will play way better than most people think.
Okay, where is he finishing fantasy then? If he plays the whole year,
top 15.
Top 15. So this is kind of like a Carson Wentz situation like last year. Just he'll do enough to get in that top 15.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bold take. Tony, talk to me about the receivers, though, because they do have good receivers. Deontay Johnson is a stud. Chase Claypool, he's capable of big games. He didn't do it much last year because Ben couldn't throw it deep. But now we're hoping that the savior can throw it deep. And then we have George Pickens, who they drafted, who is a young stud. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, I like Claypool more. Okay, let's see. Last year, I really thought Claypool. I really thought Roethlisberger was going to do better than he did. So I thought those two, the 1 and 2 wide receiver, were going to be fantastic. That was my one major bonehead comment about those two guys being in the top 20 or whatever. So actually, I think that Claypool is going to have a better season. I think Trubisky is able to get him the ball a lot better than Roethlisberger couldn't get it downfield. He couldn't throw. So I don't know how much I trust Trubisky to take them to the playoffs, but I think that the ball is going to be able to get to those wide receivers a little bit better. That's all I got to say.
Go ahead, John.
Mitch Trubisky's 3 years with the Bears, he got them to the playoffs twice with a much less talented team than what the Steelers have.
Okay.
With a much better defense, though.
Meh.
Okay. Here's what I think.
You're
I
welcome.
think Ben Roethlisberger was a damn statue last year. He couldn't move, and the line wasn't great, and he had to get rid of the ball really fast, and that's bad for Claypool. I think this year with Trubisky, he can move the pocket, he can scramble, let the
He can
play
throw on the
develop,
run.
throw on the run, and that will help Claypool. And that's why I'm backing him. Now, Claypool screwed me last year, Tony. You know I picked him almost in every draft.
Yeah.
He did not deliver. Okay. I think I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to ride him out one more year and see what he can do with a quarterback that has a better arm and can get out of the pocket. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see.
So what if Pickett? What if they don't listen to my gut feeling and they go with Pickett? Are you still taking Claypool, or are you taking Johnson?
I prefer Deontay Johnson either way because Deontay Johnson gets open and he's a target monster. And he'll still be that for the Steelers. Big Ben had a very big crush for Deontay Johnson, though. So will the chemistry be the same for Trubisky? Maybe not. But I still think Deontay Johnson is the guy that runs the best. I mean, he gets open the best of those three receivers.
He drops the ball the most too.
He does drop the ball the most, but he also catches the ball the most. And he produces fantasy points. So I like Deontay better. I am worried, though, if Kenny Pickett becomes quarterback for Claypool. I don't know if that's good. Because from what I understand, Kenny Pickett is not a deep ball guy. He's more of a short, kind of accurate passer.
Yeah,
So
Deontay Johnson wins in that case.
Deontay Johnson wins. Exactly. All right. We got to talk about the running backs. You got Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, and Trey Edmonds. Najee Harris is the guy there. He gets the volume. Does he have a repeat of last year, or do they spell him more this year? John?
I think he has a repeat of last year. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. I think he's going to be the #1 fantasy running back at the end of the year.
Wow. Tony, you agree?
No. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. Now, I love the kid. If they got to depend on him and lean on him more, absolutely. Absolutely. He'll be fantastic. I don't think he's going to be #1. You're talking about, I don't even know if he's going to be
He was #2 last year as a rookie with Ben.
Yeah, I hear you.
That was more of a because he played every game kind of thing. If you go points per game, he was not second. But if you go total, he was second. And that was processed by elimination.
He had 25 points per game.
He had a good year.
One person who scored more than 25 points per game. That was Taylor.
Sort it by average and then tell me.
It is that by average.
And Najee Harris was second.
He's tied for, there's two others with 25 points something more. So he was fourth in that case, but by 0.4.
Okay. Najee had a great year and he caught a lot of balls. And if he gets the same kind of volume, he'll do it again for sure. I like Najee. I don't believe that they're going to spell him because they don't have anyone. They didn't draft anyone.
Yeah.
They didn't sign anyone. Benny Snell's a handcuff, but that's all he is. That's it. So, I agree. And then we got to touch on the tight ends. I like Pat Freiermuth this year. John, I love Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, I love
they got
him.
Zach Gentry as well. Just a guy. Tony, I think Pat Freiermuth is a top 10 tight end. What do you think?
Yeah, hell yeah, he is. I loved him last year too. They're gonna lean on him when you get those new the QB situation. They're gonna lean on the tight end. You know they will. I think he's gonna get a ton of touchdowns, not just yardage. I think he's gonna be like that red zone kind of guy. I'm excited. He's explosive, man. I love watching.
Good. It's funny. Everyone talks about Kyle Pitts' rookie season and how great he was and blah 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 blah. But look what Pat Freiermuth did. Also a rookie with a shit quarterback who couldn't throw the ball and had to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. I mean, this guy, give him some time. Give either quarterback some time. They will find Freiermuth over the middle. He's a big target, and he's a red zone target, like you said, Tony. I like him a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
All right. Now we got to talk about the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, do we?
Brownies. They traded Case Keenum to the Bills. John. Why? With Deshaun Watson's lingering possible suspension, actually, he's going to get suspended. And the fact that they traded away Baker Mayfield, now the Browns will be relying on Jacoby Brissett. Now, Case Keenum is a pretty decent guy to have in that scenario, but they traded him. And now they're stuck with Brissett, and it's probably going to be for 8 weeks. John, why?
Honest to God, I don't have an answer for you other than they were trying to find someone who could run a similar offense to what Deshaun might be able to run. That's the only thing I can think of. Case is much more of a pocket passer, standard kind of, whereas Deshaun's real mobile. He can throw on the run, and maybe Jacoby runs a similar offense to that. But Jacoby's never done anything in this National Football League other than be a stopgap anytime they need one. So I don't get it.
All right, let's talk about Deshaun Watson. Tony, I want to talk to you about it. Watson is fantastic when he plays. In his career, in fantasy points per game, he is third all-time behind Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. And he's never had the weapons that those two have had. Okay? So when he plays, he's dynamite. Now, is he worth a late-round pick this year? If you could get him through the 8-week suspension or whatever it is, and then get to play him in the second half, is it worth stashing him?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't like the guy personally. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't draft him late. I kind of want him to fail in a way, but if I draft him, I want him to do well. Yeah, he's very, very talented. I'd like to see how his mental game is when he comes back. That's really going to be the test, because we know that he can throw and run and do what he needs to do. But is he going to have the mind frame? And how are the fans going to treat him, especially like if he travels, goes to other stadiums? What's going to happen in social media? He's missed a lot of time, so that's a big risk, but it's a risk worth taking because of his natural talent. If you are able to get him in a late round, why not? Why not? If you can hold on to him and stash him, absolutely.
Here, Tony. Here. Well said. John, agree? No, you're out on Deshaun.
Completely. I don't like his wide receiver group.
That's true.
Talk about it. Tell me.
I don't like anybody on that team. Like Amari Cooper is, to me, a jag. He's not the Amari Cooper from 3 years ago. He's average. The Cowboys couldn't wait to get rid of him, and they had 2 people injured. Their other 2 receivers were injured.
Yeah.
And they still were like, nah, let's get him to Cleveland. They sent him to Cleveland, which is like a punishment in and of itself. So you know what they thought about that guy. Couldn't wait to get rid of him. David Bell, who? Donovan Peoples-Jones sounds more like a law firm than anything else. He's not a great wide receiver. Schwartz, Jakeem Grant couldn't do anything on Miami, for God's sake. I don't know who Michael Woods is. He's not Robert Woods, though, I'll tell you that much.
Totally agree. I am hearing that Donovan Peoples-Jones has had some good chemistry with Deshaun Watson, so maybe that's a sneaky pickup later in the season. You don't even have to draft him. You could just pick him up off the waiver wire. Maybe get some good stuff late in the year. Amari Cooper's being drafted as the wide receiver 30, and that still might be too high, John. I'm totally in agreement with you with Brissett possibly doing half the year. Passing game's going to struggle. I don't like this receiving core. I wouldn't touch any of them.
I don't like anything about this team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I still like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You got the Chubb Hunt, right, Tony?
Yep.
And they have Dearness goes to Camp Johnson. And now they're talking about they might have to trade either Hunt or Johnson, probably Johnson. How do you think that's going to play out again? I mean, Nick Chubb is probably either one of the best 2 or 3 running backs or the best running back in football, but he doesn't get the volume because he's sharing. And it just bothers me. Do you think that's going to be the same thing this year, Tony?
It sounds like it, yeah, unfortunately. And now, he's getting a little bit older. Only a few years, but you know how that is. He's going to get the ball less and less. So it's going to turn into, what was that, Chubb Hunt? I'm going to say Chubb Cream. That's what it's going to turn in now. Chubb Cream. So Yeah, it's going to be the same old situation. It sounds like.
Here's what's really funny. If they do trade Kareem Hunt, it's going to be a Chubb Johnson. You know what I mean? So
Oh
Right.
yeah. That's true.
yeah.
I love that guy.
I will say this. If they trade Kareem Hunt, I like Nick Chubb better. Like I might consider drafting him with Brissett even as quarterback as a number 2, though. He should be a number 1. He should be one of the greatest running backs in the league, but he's on the Browns, who's not even going to have their starting quarterback for at least 8 weeks. I think, by the way, that Deshaun's going to get the whole year. I that's just a gut feeling.
Still think so?
I could be completely wrong on that. It's not even a Johnny Ballgame gut feel. It's just something I just keep in the back of my head. It just keeps hitting me like, I don't know that guy's playing this year. You're Chuck, you're the reason. When you told me about the $1 million salary this year and then the rest of it backloaded, he knew something we didn't. And that was get no money for this season because I'm probably not going to play this season. Like, I really believe that they already know that.
I think the lawyers are really pushing back on that, though, and they're going to have to probably come to some kind of agreement. That's why I don't think it's going to be a whole year. But you could be right that the league could just say, screw you, you're out a whole year. And maybe, like Tony said, maybe 2 years. Really hit him in that pocketbook, you know? Nevertheless, I want to go back to the Kareem Hunt. You said if they traded Hunt, Chubb would be more valuable to you.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there. With Kareem Hunt, 6 games last year, Chubb got 51% of the snaps, 16 carries a game. Hunt got 44% and got 10 carries a game. Without Hunt, 7 games without, Nick Chubb got 60% of the snaps and 15 carries less than with Hunt. Johnson got 31% of the snaps and about 4 carries. So even when Hunt was out, Chubb did not get a lot of carries. Go ahead, Johnson.
They sucked last year. Like the Browns lost their complete identity. They have no idea what they were doing. It was a terrible, terrible team. And you're right. And I remember toward the end of the year going, what are they doing? Like, what are they? You got Nick Chubb, and they're bringing in Dearness Johnson to run for a couple of runs. Like, stop. It's fucking Nick Chubb.
And it was even worse than that. It was Demetric Felton, too. Like,
oh, right. Right.
Yes.
And he's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mess. Where would you draft Chubb, by the way, John? Where would you feel comfortable drafting him?
He's going as the 15th running back, 16th, 15th, 16th running back off the boards.
Second round?
Yeah. Like, I honestly, if I found him in the 3rd, I would draft him. I'm not spending a 2nd round pick on Chubb.
I kind of agree. I did that last year, and it was okay. It wasn't great. Nick Chubb, to me, if he's my running back 2, and I already have a wide receiver on my team, I'm good. So that's a 3rd round pick for me.
Me too. Yeah.
I might feel a little different depending on who's behind the ball. If, it depends on the suspension here, because I feel like Chubb, it's going to be more of a running game. And I think Chubb would be great the first half of the season, but when Deshaun comes back, I think he's going to get less and less carries. I don't know.
Don't you think they're going to stack the box, though?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
If Jacoby Brissett's quarterback, I don't even put deep backs back there anymore. Like, I'm going to play 11 linebackers. That's what I'm doing to play the Browns.
Yeah. All right. Fun segment coming up. Last week was the Fantasy Reaper. This week is the Poop List.
The Poop List.
Tony Sir Poops a lot. You're going to start us off. We're talking about guys that we're not going to draft personally because we think they stink or they're just way too high in ADP. They're not going to be valuable at that draft position. Start me off, Tony. Who's first on your Poop List?
Well, we're going to stick with the current team that we were just talking about, and I brought this guy up last week. I understand his ADP isn't super high, but he's still getting some accolades, and people are like, he's the number 1. And we all feel the same way, and that's Amari Cooper, man. Amari Cooper needs to be don't draft that guy, man. He's not going to get anything, and he is a cancer on teams. They don't like his attitude. He's washed up. He's done. Hate him. Don't draft him.
Wow.
Oh, you hate him. That is.
Yeah. God, yikes.
I think he's bad luck, dude.
John, who's smelly for you?
I'll tell you what, I do not like and will not draft ever Chase Edmonds.
Mm.
I think I think the Dolphins overpaid for him. I don't think he's a starting running back in this league. He's a third down back at best. If he couldn't beat out Connor for the starting gig in Arizona when he was given every chance to do so, he's not worth it. I don't draft him. He's on the poop list.
All right, good. I'll go with one here. I'm going to do it again, folks. I'm doubling down on Austin Eckler.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hear me out. Last season, Eckler finished as the RB3 overall in fantasy football in the dream season in which everything worked out for him. He didn't get hurt, and he scored an unexpected and ridiculous 20 touchdowns. That is his ceiling, folks. He had the greatest season of his career, and he still finished third. And now you have to draft him third overall to get him. And how the hell is he going to pay value when you're drafting him at his absolute ceiling after the season, the magical season that he had last year? I mean, it's like the Cooper Kupp thing. Cooper Kupp's not going to repeat what he did last year, but you got to pay the price. You got to pick him, fourth overall to get him. It's the same thing with Eckler. It's not going to happen, folks. First of all, he gets hurt every year. Last year was the anomaly. Every other year, he's missed multiple seasons with soft tissue injuries. I think that's going to happen this year. Also, by the way, the Chargers drafted Spiller out of Texas A&M, Isaiah Spiller, and they drafted him for a reason. And the reason was they want to spell Austin Eckler more, and there's a good chance that Spiller will be getting a lot of the goal line touches, which significantly drops Eckler's value if he's not on the goal line, getting the goal line carries. So no, he's not going to finish third this year. He's not worth a third overall pick. Sorry, he's on my poop list. All right, Tony, you agree? Tony, who's next on your poop list?
Well, these are two of my favorite wide receivers. I'm trying to decide which one to throw away. I'm gonna start with this one because I don't like where he's going in the draft. I'm not saying that I wouldn't draft him, but he's definitely on my poop list because of the situation. I don't like AJ Brown right now. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not buying some of the hype. But I'm also, listen, man, it's a new team and a new system, and I know he's super talented. I loved him, especially 2 years ago. I don't buy it, and right now, as of this day, he is on my poop list.
I totally agree. We talked about this a few weeks ago. AJ Brown, he's been downgraded as far as the quarterback play. He's going from Tannehill to a guy that is super inaccurate. Now, granted, AJ Brown can make explosive catches with one hand and stuff, and he's going to have to because this quarterback's not. John, tell me, you agree?
I completely agree. I loved him as a Titan. I didn't like him last year, though. I didn't think he was very good, and he was playing with the quarterback that he normally played with. Now he's switching teams. And again, you could count on two fingers the receivers who went to another team and had an unbelievable, amazing year the next year. And they're both Patriots. Randy Moss when he went to the Patriots, and Wes Welker when he went to the Patriots. And Welker wasn't even that good when he was with the Dolphins, but then he went and became amazing.
And Stephon Diggs, too, to the Bills.
Yeah, okay, so Diggs. But still, I don't like that. I don't like when a receiver goes to another team with a less talented quarterback. I'm not in.
Also, you got to pay for AJ Brown in the draft as a top 10 wide receiver. Do you really believe he's going to finish top 10?
No
He
way.
didn't last year. I don't think he did the year before either. So you're paying for something that hasn't happened on a new team with a new quarterback who's shit, by the way. I don't see it. That's a good call, Tony.
Yep.
All right, John, who's next on your poop list?
I'm going receiver, and we've already kind of talked about him a little bit this today. DK Metcalf. I want 0 shares of DK Metcalf this year. I wasn't that big on him last year, and he proved me right. So I really don't like him this year. I mean, Did we mention Geno Smith? Was he brought up earlier? Because that's the
No, that's a good point.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, quarterback play is important. Do you think Geno Smith or Drew Lock is going to support a top 12 wide receiver? Because I sure as hell don't.
No.
Yeah, that's the other piece. His draft position is like 12th, right? 12 in receivers, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, he's in the top 15 in receivers. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you. All right. I got another receiver as well. I'm going to go DJ Moore. DJ Moore in 2020 was wide receiver 24. In 2021, he was wide receiver 21. Has his quarterback situation improved, John?
Nope.
Last I checked, they had big head Sam Darnold and reject from Cleveland, Baker Mayfield, and they're having a battle in camp to see who's going to be the starting quarterback. So, no, the situation hasn't improved at quarterback. Neither one has been able to support even a top 15 wide receiver in their careers. So what makes us think that DJ Moore is going to finish top 15 this season? Because that's where he's being drafted, folks. He's never done it.
Nope.
He's not the focal point of the offense. That is Christian McCaffrey. He's competing with targets with Terrence Marshall and Robbie Anderson. I don't get the hype of DJ Moore. Yes, he's a good player. He's got great hands. But you need a quarterback to throw him the ball. It's the same thing as DK Metcalf. I'm out on DJ Moore.
I completely agree.
All right, Tony, you mentioned earlier that you had two receivers and you chose one of them. Who was the other one? I'm just curious.
I don't think we talked about him. I know Johnny didn't, but it was DK Metcalf.
Okay.
It was there. I couldn't decide between the two, and John took it right after me. I do have a running back that I'm sure you guys will agree with this too. You know, again, mixed signals. Some people are like, he's looking pretty good. He's going to be the feature back, and that's Antonio Gibson. I really liked Gibson a couple years ago. Had a lot of hope for him. And again, I love to say the word talented. He has shown flashes of talent for sure, but he's been banged up. He hasn't, when he is healthy, he hasn't really come through, and I don't really like that team. So I'm trying to stay away from the running game over there. I don't like Antonio Gibson.
It's a good call.
Yeah. He's the first down back. They have a second down back and a third down back now.
I have one.
Yep. Finish us off, Johnny.
I'm actually kind of surprised that we didn't talk about this in the news, because this dude just got paid and he is a quarterback. And he's got, from what I'm hearing, the first time ever, a study clause got put in his contract. And it is the guy that I have never liked, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray just got paid. And in order to pay him, they demanded that he spend at least 4 hours a week studying tape without a video game being on or a movie being on. Is he 12? And they were talking about homework? What are we doing right now? That's their number one guy. That's the guy they just paid. He looks like an idiot. The Cardinals look like an idiot for going, yep, this is the guy we're going to pay. We'll just put a contract clause in and make him study real good. What are we?
And he got offended by that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
like
felt
a baby.
Disrespected. Like a baby, like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
He also, don't forget, he deleted all Twitter action for his team and a couple months ago, like a baby. I think he does have some mental issues, John.
They made it so he doesn't have to even work hard to earn it this year in the 5th-year option year. Okay, good job, guys. You're taking a spoiled child and giving him everything he wants and then hoping that he works hard.
John, you know what else they should have put in his contract? They should have put in his contract that he has to practice throwing the ball.
Yeah. You have to wear your helmet when you're playing football too.
Yeah. You have to go for jogs and stay in shape. Like, what are we doing?
You're not allowed to front the second coming of the NWA band because you look just like Eazy-E. That's what you should put in there. I am so out on Kyler Murray. I hope the rest of you, he's being drafted before Joe Burrow. You're idiots. Just if you're drafting Kyler Murray before Joe Burrow, stop playing fantasy football or join my league because I want your money.
Wow, Johnny hates him.
I just
Oh.
I can't. Listen,
I like him till week 9. He's good till week 9.
Yeah,
And then it's fall off a Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
I love a worker. I like a grinder. I like those people who are going to work hard and put the time in. And he's just never been that guy. And I just have no patience for him.
All right. All right, John. All right. Good segment.
ADP, this or that.
Now let's do a fun one. This is John's favorite type of segment. It's ADP, this or that. I'm going to give you 2 guys that are close in ADP at the same position. And I want you to tell me, are you going to get with this or are you going to get with that? All right. Here we go. Let's start with you, Tony, because I want to save John's excitement for last. Tony, quarterback Justin Herbert versus quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
Who are you
Herbert.
taking first?
Herbert.
Herbert. Why are you
Definitely
taking him first?
Mainly because of the weapons, and he throws the hell out of the ball. That system, he's going to get more points. Now, Patrick Mahomes runs amazing. He can throw with a blindfold on under like his leg and shit like that. But he doesn't have the complete system around him anymore. We saw that failure last year. Herbert. I'm going Herbert.
John, Herbert or Mahomes?
Herbert. It's not even close.
I agree. It's not even close. It's Herbert. He has more weapons. I agree.
Tony,
All right, John.
Everything that Tony said. Tony was perfect. That was right.
Back. John, rapid fire. Running back Leonard Fournette, running back 12, or running back 13, Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Why?
He's going to get more points. He's going to catch the ball more.
He's going to get more points. That's deep.
Yeah. I mean, do I need another reason? He's going to get points. He's going to. I honestly like Saquon this year. You know, I've been down on him the last 2 years, and I was right to be down on him the last 2 years. I really like him this year as a sleeper running back, and I really dislike Fournette this year, or shall we call him Donut, because
Or fat butt.
Yeah, he's just not.
Although he did lose some weight, and he's in camp. He's in better shape. But,
Lost 15 pounds.
okay, Tony, would you take Fournette or Barkley?
Ooh, not as quick.
Oh, I think I'm going to go with Barkley. I think so. He's healthy, and he's going to make a decent comeback. The reason I hesitate is because it seems like Fournette. I keep waiting for him to fail. I'm like, wait, he got 2 touchdowns again today. How is he still?
Yeah.
And he doesn't impress me that much on the field sometimes, but he just keeps scoring points. So I'm like, trying not to put my foot in my mouth. But yeah, I think I agree with John. I'm going Barkley.
Yeah, Fournette scored 2 touchdowns, and he had 2 steaks. All right.
Right.
I'm coming right back to you, Tony. Quickly, okay. Wide receiver 1 versus wide receiver 2. Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson?
Jefferson. This is Jefferson's year. Some of it's a gut. But it's his year. It's his year. There's I think a lot of people feel the same way. Kupp is amazing, consistent. Jefferson's year.
I am on board with you 100%, Jefferson over Cooper Kupp, but I want to hear John's take.
Can I be a contrarian?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be. No, you're absolutely right. Justin Jefferson.
All right, John.
Cooper ends up in the top 5. I don't know that he's going to be the number 1 receiver on his team this year.
Oh, stop.
Hot take, boys. Hot take. Allen Robinson. I want you to write it down right now.
All right. I had to go fart because that was disgusting, John.
Allen Robinson, number 1 wide receiver on the Rams this year.
All right. Let's go right back to you, John.
Here he goes. All right, whatever.
Tom Brady, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Ooh, that was fast. Why?
Tom Brady just lost his center.
Mm-hmm. That's the only reason?
I don't think he's got a line. I think he's going to get his ass kicked this year.
Yeah.
They made his line worse. And granted, he's getting some of his weapons back, but his weapons are also all getting older. And Godwin's coming off of an injury. He doesn't have his tight end blanket. His running game's a mess. Wilson's got 2 up-and-coming receivers in Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. got a way better line, a way better running game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Tony?
Again, it's the same thing. It's tough. We for 10 years we've been saying this is not Brady's year, and he always
To go down. Yeah.
always surprises the hell out of us. And you know what? I'm still gonna say Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it, and I think if you could wait on him a little bit,
Yeah.
man, oh man, I think he's gonna have a great season.
Yeah. But that division scares me. God, they're gonna just all beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
But they've all got to score a ton of points to keep up with each other. So
Yep.
All right. I got one that I think is super obvious, but they are back to back in ADP. And actually, the guy that I say first is going ahead of the guy that I say second. But it'll piss me off if you pick the first guy. John, Antonio Gibson or Breece Hall?
Breece Hall, come on. Stupid.
Thank you.
Are
Tony.
we really having this conversation?
Yeah, I love Brees.
Yeah. So Gibson is going as running back 20, and Breece Hall is right behind him at 21. That makes no sense to me. Why would you take a guy that might be a one down back, or you could take Breece Hall, who is younger, faster, studlier, and a 3 down back?
I think people are worried that Carter's going to take more carries than some people think.
Fine. He can spell him. We all know who the superior talent is. It's Breece Hall. Anyway.
Not the last time you had this kind of love affair for somebody, though, it didn't end well. So,
Who was that? You talking about Ben Roethlisberger?
Ben Roethlisberger, Chase Claypool.
Ouch.
I mean,
Ouch, Johnny.
yeah,
All right.
throwing that out there.
What a
I mean,
pick.
do I need to bring up Brandon Ayuk? Because my God,
I was not in love with Brandon Ayuk.
Stop it. Stop it right now. We all were. We all fell for his arms.
We all agreed. We wanted him. We all drafted him.
We liked him. You're right. All right. Tony.
One for you.
Okay, good. Hit me.
Quarterback. I want you both to think about this because it's for both of you. I'm going to go check first. Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott. It's not even close. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson. He's not a good thrower of the football. And like you said, he may not run the ball as much as he used to because he's getting a little older. I don't like the weapons on that team. Dak Prescott's been solid every year, and he outscored Lamar Jackson in our scoring last year, and I think he'll do it again.
And I'm tired of inconsistency. I'm tired of these guys that you wait around to get you an 80-point game. Like you're saying, they get 100 points, and then he doesn't do shit for 4 weeks. Can't do that anymore. It gives me too much anxiety. Dak Prescott's more. You know he's going to get at least a decent amount of points.
I completely agree with both of you. By the way, I looked it up. Lamar Jackson last year, even though he had a 100-point game in our league, was the 20th quarterback in scoring at the end of the year.
Per game?
I don't know about per game, but I'm
total points.
Overall. Yeah, total points.
Oh, 20th overall. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, John, on that note, CeeDee Lamb or Deebo Samuel?
Whoa, this is the first pause. I'm going CeeDee Lamb. Better quarterback.
Tony.
I'm going to go Deebo Samuel. Now, I agree with John about the better quarterback situation. The only thing I didn't like is CeeDee Lamb didn't really perform the way I was expecting him to perform last year. If they get Deebo the ball, he does some serious damage. So it's close, but I'm going to go Deebo.
This is to be determined because I think Trey Lance could be as good as Dak Prescott. And I think that once they trade Jimmy Garoppolo and then they'll have money to pay Deebo, then Kyle Shanahan will feel good about just throwing him out there and running the ball or throwing him the ball, getting him the ball. So I would like Deebo in that scenario. But if Deebo doesn't get paid and he's disgruntled, I like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this. CeeDee's in his third year, right? So he had a little bit of second-year blues. That happens. Third-year receivers always do better. He's playing with Dak. He's not competing for touches because he is the clear-cut number one. And he doesn't have Trey Lance. And Deebo, as much as he was awesome last year, was a gadget guy. He wasn't a great pure receiver because they used him a lot in the running game and he scored a lot of touchdowns. I believe that Deebo or CD is a way better pure receiver than Debo. And I think they're going to need him to be that this year. I think they're going to light it up.
I agree he's a better pure receiver, but Debo's just a beast. And I mean, he had 1,400 yards.
Those guys, the gadget. Have you ever
Not a
seen
gadget. It's a gadget. Nicole Hardman is a gadget player. Debo Samuel is not a gadget player. Debo Samuel is a beast. You just get him the ball and good things happen. Tony.
Yeah, he's a half and half guy, though, right? I mean, he's half receiver.
Sure.
Those guys never have 2 good years in a row.
We'll see. All right, Tony, Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr?
Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
He's starting to go up a little bit for me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little bit more on gut. I can't sit here and give you stats and so on and so forth. I know Carr surprisingly does put up good numbers. He's got Devontae Adams. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. As much as I really dislike the dude, I think he's going to surprise us and have a little bit better season than I felt a couple weeks ago anyway.
Tony, excuse me, John.
I like Derek better. I like Derek Carr this year. I like him a lot. I think his weapons are better. I think his line's better. The division, again, is going to be a high-scoring division. I'm going to have to keep up. I just don't like Rodgers this year going into it, but I really like Carr going into it. Carr's a tough.
I got another one. I got another one for you, John. I really want you to think about this one, though, because it sounds crazy at first, because one is a legit starting running back and the other didn't even play last year, but they are back-to-back. Travis Etienne or Elijah Mitchell?
Elijah, well, I guess both of them had a little bit of trouble still on the field. That's a tough. I think I like Elijah Mitchell better. I think they'll run a lot this year. Shanahan loves to put his running backs in a good situation if he could stay healthy. Etienne's got to still compete with what's his face down there?
James Robinson.
James Robinson. It's still the Jags. And I know they brought in a coach, but it's still the Jags. So I think I like Mitchell.
I do too. I think it's a safer bet anyway.
Yeah.
I like Etienne. I like it. I think he's more explosive, and I don't trust Kyle Shanahan. I think they might just use the rookie they drafted, or who's the guy they drafted last year that got in the doghouse? He may come out of the
the Ohio State guy.
Yeah. He might come out of nowhere and get that job. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. I think they're going to go RBBC there. So I'll take Etienne. Tony, battle of the handcuffs. Michael Carter or Melvin Gordon, the fantasy rooster?
I'm going to go Gordon, man. I know you hate the guy.
Neither.
I'm going Melvin Gordon. He's still, I'm definitely. I think that he is going to be, there's going to be more consistency there. I think he'll be fine as a handcuff. Well, I mean, if you're still talking about your boy starting, right? Getting more carries, Javonte.
Javonte, absolutely. But Breece Hall will be starting too. And Michael Carter, I think, will get like very limited amount of carries as well. But if both running backs come in due to injury, who do you like better? Michael Carter being the starter or Melvin Gordon being the starter?
I'm still going Melvin Gordon.
Okay. John?
Yeah, I mean, my first inclination is to say C neither, but I think if both running backs go down, I think I like Carter better. I think I think Salah will rely on the running game more, whereas I think if Javonte goes down, I think they'll be like Russ Cook and they'll let Russ cook and he'll throw.
Okay. Jalen Waddle or Michael Pittman Jr. John?
Michael Pittman Jr. It's not even close for me.
Wow. Tony?
Yeah, I like him better too. I mean, Waddle's amazing, but Pittman's number one with Matty Ice. I'm going Pittman.
He's starting to really come on last year. Waddle's competing for targets from a not great quarterback.
I disagree. Waddle's a stud. Waddle caught 100 balls as a rookie, and he is definitely to his favorite target. They have chemistry. They played in college together. That continues. I know they have Tyreek Hill, I love Jalen Waddle.
That wide receiver they traded for is pretty good. Can't remember.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Waddle doesn't get close to 100 catches this year.
No?
No.
We'll see about that, John. I think he does. I like Michael Pittman Jr. and I would draft him at his current ADP, but I prefer Waddle.
Really? You really do believe that Waddle, as the number 1A or number 2 receiver, getting catches from Tua is going to have more fantasy points than MPJ getting no? He's a receiver from Matty Ice.
Look, the Colts are a very run-heavy team. They're going to lean on Jonathan Taylor. The Dolphins drafted and signed a bunch of guys with speed. They're going to open up the offense. They're going to throw the ball. That's why I like Waddle. That's it. All right, Tony, Cortland Sutton or Gabriel Davis?
Cortland Sutton. And I love Gabriel Davis. Cortland Sutton, I think, and I love Jerry Jeudy too, but I think Cortland Sutton is going to be number 1. And that guy has shown that he can catch and run with that ball. And now he's got a QB. So I think I'm looking forward to those wide receivers in Denver.
John?
Yeah, I think so too. I think Cortland Sutton. I do. Is this where Chuck
You guys are fucking crazy. You're not listening to a word I say. Gabe Davis, 8 catches for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in the most important game of the season.
Because they were triple covering Diggs.
Yeah,
that's why.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut in the train once in a while.
You don't think they're going to triple team Diggs again? Come on.
No, I'm not. I am not buying Gabriel Davis. I'm not buying it.
So, John, we couldn't get Sutton from Cortland Sutton last year. We couldn't get even a little Sutton. He was awful.
His quarterback can't beat up Geno Smith. Are we really doing that, Chuck? Are we going to compare last year to this year?
All right, I'll give you that. But my God. Okay, all right. Well, let me just put it this way. Gabe Davis is playing for the best quarterback in the NFL. Damn it.
He got traded to the Bengals?
All right, I got one more. John, Zach Ertz or Dawson Knox?
Oh. Actually, I like Dawson Knox there better. You know why?
Why?
He's not dependent on Kyler freaking Murray. That's why. Also, because I think he's going to catch more passes than Gabe Davis. Suck it.
Wow. Tony, what do you think?
I'm going Dawson Knox. Yeah. There's nothing else
He
to say.
also thinks he's going to catch more than passes than Gabe Davis. Here's my thing. Chuck is in love with Gabe Davis this year. So you can't do it. You were in love with APN last year. You were in love with
I was.
Can we?
He's Claypool too.
Your love affairs scare me now because I remember last year's love affairs. You had hearts in your eyes for Claypool. I mean, seriously, is this year's Claypool?
Maybe. You know, I did get some guys right last year, John.
You did.
I'm just messing.
Johnny Ballgame busting my balls. And on that note,
I'm in a mood.
Let's call it an evening. The Fantasy Reaper can't take it anymore from Johnny drilling him. All right. I want to thank Johnny Ballgame for tonight's show. Good job, John.
Jackie, always fun, man.
Always fun. You did a good job, man. I appreciate it. And Tony, Sir Poops a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I am the Fantasy Reaper. Tonight was a good show, guys. You got to hit that like button. The YouTube algorithm likes it when you hit the like button. Subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Right, John?
Hit the notification bell. Hey, quick shout out to Royce, who was on location. Gave up a little bit of his vacation time to be with us today. So awesome. Thanks, Royce.
Yeah, appreciate you too. Fantasy Rolls Royce, thank you for coming on the show. On location in Maui on the island. Truly on the island. That was awesome. right, guys. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, hit that notification bell. Ding! And aloha. Right, Royce?
Tune in next week for another episode of Fantasy Sports Island.